From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and Chief Technologist of Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's show, I have Mr. Ryan Waterbury, my regular monthly co-host on Agency Chat with me, and we're going to talk about why your business still, even in the world of AI, needs a website. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. The SDM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing concierge that helps you put all your marketing pieces together. We are your marketing experts. We are also your WordPress security experts and know how to lock down a website and protect yourself from bad actors. So contact us at Stunning Digital Marketing today. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here, and today I'm here with my monthly co-host to talk all about Agency Chat, Mr. Ryan Waterbury. Hey Ryan, how you doing, man?
It's been a week, but we're surviving.
Now, I know it's been a week, and I hope it gets better sooner than later because I'm tired of 6 months a week. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And just because we always start the day off with weather, and I'm looking outside the window, at the time of this record, it's sunny and the snow is starting to melt. So,
Same here. And next week we're going to be in the mid 40s Fahrenheit, which is 10
yeah.
degrees above average, but I am all for it. That means our snowpack will be gone and we'll have I hate to jinx it in early spring. I'm going to knock on the wood on my desk
Yep.
for that
An
one.
early spring, like sooner than later, right, Ryan?
Hmm.
Because I am at the point where I have nowhere to put snow. So I need this to shrink. So, and truthfully, I think we're going to get more snow, but that's another story. Um,
Exactly.
anyway, let's go to what we want to talk about today, and I'll preamble it as I was with you before. I was watching the news last week, and CTV News in Canada was back on this taking complaints from business owners who had been locked out of social media and have not had an opportunity to do anything. And they were complaining because they depend their business only on social. And in the world of AI, we're seeing more and more and more of this.
Mhm.
And my argument is you still need a website. And both you and I have agencies that make websites, so somebody's going to say that's self-fulfilling. Um, what do you say about that?
Uh, and that's actually the topic of my blog for this month is do you still need a website in 2026? And you and I both know you absolutely do. A couple of reasons. You mentioned one, you don't own your real estate on any platform, especially Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, whatever, any of the Meta properties or TikTok. You can be locked out tomorrow if the platform changes, its TOS. And so if you've got your entire business there, guess what? You get locked out tomorrow, you don't have a business anymore. And
That's right.
so that's one part of it. But the other part is the information. And in the age of AI search, having a website as your hub and your other areas, your citations out there are your spokes. And we have the Google's checking even more areas for trust. And your website is your number one area for trust. And that's where you control the narrative about your business and about who you are. And you own it. And even though you might be on somebody else's server, you own the data there and you control the information there.
Yeah.
And so it's real important that if you don't like your host, I know we were talking about this earlier, that they do something, you should have a backup. And if you work with one of us on care, you've always got a backup, and we can move you to a new host, a new server, and one that maybe fits you better. But if you're only on social media, and they say, we don't like the industry you're in, laws change, uh, you're done. And that's a real dangerous way to run your business.
Yeah. 2 years ago, Instagram went down. You remember in November, the big
Hmm.
Instagram meltdown. And I had a client, no word of a lie, he lost $37,000 in one day in sales because he decided he didn't need a website for sales. He could do social media, he could put on Instagram. And then when Instagram was down 24 hours, he lost all those sales. Now, somebody's going to rip me a new one and say, by the way, a website can go down. It can. But then you have more chance of getting that back up faster on your terms than you
Hmm.
do depending on social media, who you're only paying a percentage of, and they don't really care. And they're not invested in your business. Social's only invested in their business. And how do you think about that story?
Oh, if something's free, you are the product.
Yeah.
And granted, when we talk business, you're not just, if you're only doing organic on social, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. Uh, Paid advertising is an absolute must these days, in my opinion, at least in some fashion. So you're not exactly the product, but you are marketing to the product, that people surfing social media that just want to connect with their friends, find out what's going on at their favorite restaurant or music venue. They're the product. And, so all their information is being analyzed with AI these days. And then we as marketers have that data to market to that person. It's great. But if you can't use the platform, if you're in a particular industry, like you and I both serve uh, industries that are adult in nature, myself, cannabis. So it used to be a very big niche of mine. It's no longer, unfortunately, as heavy as I would like it to be. But we can be on social media and Google ads, but you have to be careful about it. And that's where having a website comes in handy. And that's true for every business, whether you're in the adult entertainment or consumption businesses or any other business. That's your
So,
core.
so true, Ryan.
And
So true.
yeah, I've seen this so many times with as the winds change, that um, somebody wants to have a law passed or social mores change, and all of a sudden you find yourself banned from platform for something that
Yep.
you was perfectly fine yesterday. But if you have your website and particularly owning your email list, if you're using somebody else's platform, this is true at that avenue, like MailChimp, Constant Contact, any of the other providers, make sure you're pulling down your list as a backup. So you own that.
Yep.
That's the key, is making sure that you own your data.
Mhm. I agree with you. And let's establish something right here. There is a big value to communities. For example, my newsletter, as you know, I moved to Substack. Oh, I guess it's about 8 or 9 months ago, right? Right? Something like that. And believe it or not, I generate more views being in a Substack community than I ever did before. So that's worked out really well,
Mhm.
that experiment. Now, as you just mentioned, pull down your list. I pulled my list down regularly. And somebody says, "What's the value of that?" Then I have all the email addresses they've already opted in. So if I want to move that list, I can't. There's some things you got to be careful. What I always tell people on social media is get your potential clients off social media as soon as you can. It's
Mhm.
because if you lose them, they're gone. So we got to establish that. Now, going back to the website, and not only do you need a website, you need a website that's not AI built. I'm not saying you shouldn't use AI to do part of the work, but please,
Mhm.
folks, don't build your own CMS because you don't want to pay a developer with AI. Because I guarantee you, if you don't know what you're doing in the first place, you're going to end up with security problems and you will get hacked. And that's a bit of a problem.
I'm in a lot of well, I won't say a lot, a few vibe coding groups now because
So many.
being tied into Google, so much for my business. Uh, I got in early on anti-gravity, their integrated development environment, and it's basically a fork of VS Code. And why I like that for me is I'm a developer. I write code. I understand the code. And compared to Claude Code, which just does stuff and you have a
Yep.
conversation with it, you don't actually see the code. Where now I've been paying attention, to how people are using it and said, okay, I can actually write my own code and assist and do parts of it that I want to. And if it's not doing secure things, then I can halt it. Uh, the scary thing is in some of those groups, here's my prompt. I want this awesome website, make it. No thought to security, no thought to any authentication. And I guarantee you that in token costs, they're going to spend thousands of dollars before they get to what they want. And it will probably get hacked in a day. The fact
Yep.
of the matter is, the vibe coding or using AI for any of these functions, it's great. It can help you out a lot. But AI slop is a real term and it's real stuff that's coming out where, uh, you know, seeing some of the memes from back in the day when reporters, were given cameras and said, we don't want to pay photographers anymore. And this is in the 70s, that it was kind of a thing when economically things weren't great and people were trying to cut corners. They found out that you can't just point and shoot, that you still need to know how to compose a frame, and how to, and I chose photography here because I know that that's one of your passions.
It is.
Um,
Yep.
and taking good photos is actually a skill. And
Mhm.
uh, so, anytime we have new technology come around and we say that we're seeing, high-level CMOs and CFOs, we're going to fire our marketing and dev department and just run it on AI. I think
Mhm.
that's foolhardy at this point. And even and a lot of that crowd is saying you don't need a website anymore or to vibe code it and it's fine. Well, I'm not okay with just being okay. I want to grow and prosper. And if your website is vibe coded just like everyone else's, guess what? You're not going to show up. You're not going to be visible to anyone else. Um, so uh, thinking that either A, your website doesn't matter and that just good enough vibe coding is going to be good, or you don't need one, that's foolhardy. And
Yep.
the going forward, there's going to be a window before AI gets really good. And it's a couple of years out, in my opinion. But the designers and the professionals that do these jobs, right now, developers, copywriters still, although they're pretty heavily impacted, SEO professionals, web designers, those are the people that are going to flourish in this industry and going to become more valuable, in my opinion, over the next couple of years. That doing good design and building a website that actually works in the era of AI slop is going to become one of the things people seek you out for when they find out that either A, not having a website is hurting them, or they did the DIY or AI route and it's still not working.
No, I agree with you in a big way. And by the time they go to clean up the messes, it's their stupidity or ignorance or whatever you want to call it. It's going to cost them thousands of dollars, whether it's in fixing the site or lost revenue or other, you know, forces. And people need to start being smart. I mean, um, you need a website. The other thing, and I'm going to hit on this is please um, do some research on uh, your hosting plan on what you want for hosting and your hosting company very quickly. Sometimes the big multinationals that spend millions of dollars into advertising, and I'm not going to mention names, but we know who they are. Um, they don't do a good job of providing back-end client support. So take the time and do some research on the hosting company and what you're looking for.
Oh, I will call them out. I have a no Bluehost, no GoDaddy rule. I've even gone to include some of the other better known providers because they've been getting acquired and service goes downhill.
Yep, yep,
I've
yep.
seen up to
You
three
can
weeks
call them
for
out.
to answer support ticket
So
for some hosts out there.
since we're calling them out, um, you and I both know a friend of mine who hangs in the Beaver Builder community, um, who operates a host called Billy Host out of the BC
Mhm,
area. His name is Owen Grease, and Owen deserves a lot of credit. But Owen's also an ex-IT guy. And the way he runs his hosting company is he basically provides really good support for the resources. So if anybody's
mhm.
looking for something, go check him out. And no, Owen did not pay me for this advertisement.
He's a
But
solid guy. I've talked with
yeah,
him in the hosting section of the Beaver Builder Slack, and
yep,
he's
he is.
knowledgeable. And that's the thing. You hit it right on the head that
Hmm.
if we're talking about other people's platforms. What if somebody has a problem with your product? Where are they going to go to
Yeah,
support? Are they going to hit the messenger?
yeah,
Are you going to answer, messenger chats at 3 in the morning? Or are you going to have a website that has an appropriate support ticket channel and appropriate
yeah,
terms and
yeah,
conditions and refunds policy? Those are things that you really need to have hosted out. One for CYA, just so you don't get sued, and two, just for good customer service. Your website should answer a lot of questions for customers before they pick up the phone.
yeah.
And social media can do some of that. You can have some info, but it doesn't get in depth like you can. And that's what I was talking about, controlling the narrative about your information out in the web. That's
Yeah.
your website should be selling for you 24/7.
Yep.
Even though we're in this new era, you still need one because where does AI search get its information from?
No,
Not thin air. It goes to the
I,
sources around the web, and your website should be the number one driver of answering those questions. And if you don't
no, I
have
agree.
one, then you're behind your competitors.
No, I agree with you. And it's funny, you used to do a lot of political work at one time in your
Hmm.
agency. I still
Yeah.
do a fair bit of it, as you know. I'm in the middle of some stuff right now. And let me tell you, the political parties have realized this. They've realized that social media is an add-on. Excuse
Hmm.
me. They still have big websites and they still manage websites. And they are a good example. Government agencies are another one. News
Hmm.
outlets are another one. The news outlets, the Times, CNN, they're all on social. But you know what? They still have websites.
Hmm.
And that's the key, right? And
Yeah.
investing.
Yeah, all those news outlets, any e-com stores worth their salt, their source is their website, and then it's pushed
Mhm.
out to social. And those news articles on CNN, they're on the website first, and then it's shared on the social channels.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
still the appropriate way to build trust, generate traffic, and still have an anchor to your website.
Yep. No, it's so true. Um, and frankly, there's some companies that do it, some sectors that do it better than others, some do worse than others. I'm going to tell you a little secret, folk. And I'm not getting into the validity of the business or what they do, but the working girls, and you know where I'm going with this, right? I think, and we'll use that term nicely. They
Hmm.
have all figured out in order to promote themselves, they need a website. Now, folks, if they can figure it out, so can you. That's all I'm saying, right?
And they're using the number one platform out in the web right now, WordPress.
Yes.
And for good reason. It's open source, it's self-hosted. Um, Matt actually has made statements on this. Matt Mullenweg from Automatic, not always my favorite guy, but he's taken a firm stance that you should be able to publish information that you want to. Morals aside, that he said that that's a
Yeah.
legitimate use of the web, and he stands behind it. And he's always been very good about, I want to democratize publishing for anyone.
Yep. Yep.
And
Mhm.
that uh, that's the other thing. I leaned into talking about adult industries, that's one of the key areas where you can't host a lot of these on social media platforms unless, of course, you're that OF one that's special. But otherwise, you need to host it yourself.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work I said cannabis, but firearms for a long time, and they still are touchy. That you have to do all your work heavy into SEO, and that's still true
Yeah.
offline. So
I have a
aside from
cl-
those,
I have a client in a self-hosted adult store, as you know, who's got multiple
Mhm,
stores. And do you know, because that area is so hard, even worse than the working girls, which are not legal in Canada, so we won't even go there. And I have to have him on a box on his own in a
mhm,
data center because I cannot afford to have him on a host because I violate all the terms of service of all
mhm.
the hosting providers out there.
I and yep, exactly. And this is one of the selling points that I always make for my agency. I manage the hardware, and,
Yeah.
and and this was a boon in around 2020 when I had made a shift. I'd worked in political and nonprofit, but a lot of my clients are health freedom clients, and the
Yeah.
nonprofits that I worked with around that era were publishing valuable, truthful information, but they were being banned from social media,
Mhm.
banned from other hosting platforms because they were hurting pharmaceutical business.
Yep. Yep.
So, it's not just adult entertainment, but if legally somebody doesn't like what you say, you're off the platform. And having a
Oh, well,
website and your own email list is one of the only ways to communicate.
there's no such thing as free speech in the world anymore. Because if I say I don't like somebody, I'm automatically a racist. I'm prejudiced. I don't like their race. I
Mhm.
don't like what they are. I don't like their body size. I'm so the bottom line is you're not allowed to have an opinion because if you do, there's something wrong with it. And that's a problem. And the web has just become an extension of that, to be quite frank.
Mhm. It has, and again, the whole point of our discussion is owning your own space
Yep.
and being able to
Yep.
communicate. And that's what, and, not just WordPress, but any CMS out there that's open source, at least in my opinion, is good to get on. And even if you start out with some of the builders like Wix or Squarespace to make it easy, just owning your a little bit of your own space out there on the
Yep.
web is absolutely necessary.
Yep. You need a website, need help, reach out to Ryan, reach out to me. We'd be glad to help you, even have a conversation
Mhm.
and do it. Ryan, thanks very much. Going over to One Dog Solutions, talk to Ryan. I know it's been a rough week, and I do appreciate you always making time. Um, and I know what to say. Some weeks are easy and some weeks are bad, my friend.
Yeah, this was a tough week, but it's closing out. Things are looking up, and the sun is out, so
Yeah.
I'm happy ish.
And I wanna take a moment, and I should have warned you, but this particular show is dedicated to Shooter and your late father-in-law, and I want you to take it easy and look after your family, bud. Thank you.
Thanks.
This podcast has been brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing concierge to help the business owner put all his pieces together, whether it's email marketing, WordPress security, WordPress design and development, PPC, and more. Text Stunning Digital Marketing for all your digital marketing needs today. A very special thank you to Ryan for joining me on this edition of the SDM show. The SDM show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.